Three are hotly contested now, and I wanted you to meet the Republicans who are trying to win back those seats. With me, Representative Virginia, the House, Jenny Kiggins, Yesley Vega, and Hung Cao, and welcome to all three of you, and happy Halloween. Jen, I want to start with you. Military background, nurse practitioner as of today. What have you learned in your district about what you think is the most important issue there?
So this year, absolutely the economy. That's what people are complaining about. That's what's driving voters out. We've got 40-year record-breaking inflation rates. Our country's in a recession. First and foremost, it will be the economy. How can we get grocery prices down and gas prices down? This is what every single voter cares about, no matter if you're a Republican, a Democrat, or an independent. So that is first and foremost on the ballot this year, and that's what Republicans are ready to stop. We're ready to stop the wasteful spending. We're ready to stop the big government overreach and the overregulating, especially of our oil and gas industry. So voters will be out because this is what people are caring about, you know, how much they're paying again at the grocery stores. And I'm excited to be in the fight. We're going to flip this district this year in Virginia, and it's going to be a great victory in flipping the U.S. House. On the issues there, you mentioned, here you go, economy and inflation number one by 31% on the screen now. Far outweighs racial inequality at 9%, abortion at 8%, climate change at 8%, and gun violence at 7%. So Yesley Vega, when you're competing there, you know, you're the southern edge of the outskirts of Washington, D.C., and a year ago, education was the issue. Now, what are you hearing from parents today? Why does education not show up on the poll that I just shared with our viewers?
You know, it shows up on the ground when I'm talking to parents and they're concerned about how radical today's Democrat Party has become when it comes to parental rights. My opponent votes against parents' rights, and then her own surrogate proposes very dangerous legislation that talks about jailing parents. Look, Virginians don't have to wonder where I stand on this issue. I stand with parents and with their children. And unfortunately, today's progressive liberal left party has lost touch with the voters when it comes to that issue. So it's still at the forefront of the discussions that we're having with voters here in the 7th District, and we're happy to continue to talk about this issue and let parents know where we stand.
It's one we're watching. Hung Cao, we spoke to you about 2 weeks ago. You're a first-time politician. Don't know why you want the job, and maybe you'll get the job. But what have you learned about politics in America through your process?
Well, politics is just about going out there and listening to your constituents. And like you said, the parents' rights is the biggest issue here in this district, besides the economy. Obviously, the economy is forefront of everything. With 8.3% inflation rate, that's a tax on the American people, as well as the hits on their 401k of about 25%. That takes away their buying power for buying houses and a future for their children. But the other thing about the parents is the parents' rights. My opponent, Jennifer Wexton, is backing a state delegate that lives in my district who proposed a bill that would criminalize parents if they did not affirm their children's gender that the school deems as correct.
Back to Jen Kiggins. I don't think you can win in your district if you don't have a military background. But your opponent does as well, Elaine Luria. Why is this race considered so close? Because they redrew the lines a little bit, and they kind of helped out your cause under Republican leadership in Virginia.
Yeah, so this is the first time in history that two women veterans are running against each other, so it's a very interesting race to watch. But my opponent and I couldn't be more different. She plays the moderate. This is what she does every election cycle, but she certainly doesn't vote like one. She votes with Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden and for their failed, disastrous economic policies, and she votes with them 99% of the time. And that's been my mission, is to tell that to the voters of the 2nd District. This is a very common sense district. Yes, huge veteran population, huge active duty military population, and those are the people that we're impacting. These are people on fixed incomes, fixed retirement incomes, fixed military incomes, and they've been impacted the most by these disastrous economic policies. They can no longer afford the everyday things, the gas, the groceries. So this is how we've got to do better for our active military population. I'm a daughter of an Army veteran, married to a F-18 pilot. I'm a helicopter pilot. My kids serve. So, you know, for me, just looking out for our military servicemen and women, this is definitely a priority of mine.
You got a resume, that's for sure. I got a minute left. I want to get to Yesley and Hung Cao one more time here. Yesley, you're running against Abigail Spanberger. She's running in a new district. Used to be around Richmond. Is closer to Washington, D.C. now. She's won two very close elections, 2018 and 2020. Why do you think this is the year for Republicans in that district?
again, you see every single position that she's taken in enabling Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi's tax and spend agenda. It is crippling our families. It's hurting us across the board. And voters here in the 7th District are tired. I am the proud daughter of Salvadorian immigrants. I'm a proud member of law enforcement. We're tired of wasteful spending. We're tired of not feeling safe in our communities. And we're reminding voters that we're in this position because of Abigail Spanberger and her support of Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi. And this is the year that we flip the 7th and take our country back.
Well, Hung Kao, you probably have the biggest hurdle to climb here. I think Democrats have about an 8-point edge in your district. You've talked about opportunity. Born in Vietnam, coming to the United States. How have you seen the possibility of opportunity erode in your own life? Or have you?
Oh, well, first of all, Glenn Youngkin lost this district by only 1.9 points, so it's not a big uphill battle because that's back when Joe Biden had a positive outlook, and right now he's in the tubes, just like my opponent is. But again, every immigrant that came here in my district, 45% minorities, we came here for the same thing, for opportunity and for education for our children, and this is what's resonating against everybody in this district, from the Americans who lived here for 8 generations to the new immigrants like myself.
Hung Kao, Yesli Vega, Jen Kiggins. You got 8 more days of work, and we'll see what happens on the 8th. Thank you for your time today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Dana.
Well,